106 pounds of nothing but muscle. Our guest here today was a 106-pound state champion as an eighth grader. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
I'm Chase Yost. I wrestled for Woodford County High School from 2016 to 2020.
Like we said, man, the 2016 106-pound state champion and had a phenomenal career as a yellow jacket. But before we dive in any further, man, what gets you into wrestling? How do you find it?
I think so. My dad wrestled. He's from Ohio. He was more of a baseball and football player, and I think they took me to a camp one time. I'm from Georgetown. We had a little pavilion over there, and they had a basketball camp, and so I was the only kid that couldn't dribble. And so I think that was his sign that I needed to be in a sport where I didn't have to, the notorious saying we're all bad at basketball. But yeah, so he
You
put me in
know,
wrestling, and since about 5, I had done it. So yeah, it was just what I was good at, and I liked it. So
I mean, I completely understand, and of course, you fell right into a great program there at Woodford County. Let's talk about it real quick. Today is August 2nd, 2025. As of this filming, Woodford County has 69 individual state champions, 66 boys and 3 girls.
Mhm.
That is overall second place, only behind Union County. So uh, phenomenal results and history on that side of the house, but also the team state championships. As of this filming, Woodford County has 13, reaching all the way back to 1970, with their latest being 2006. Again, that second place, and some of the names that's come through there: Joe Carr Jr., Harrison Courtney, Nathan Boston, David Carr, Chris Dunn, Ian Horn. I mean, we could go on and on with the names that we've got on the channel. You, as an eighth grader, but was the allure of the Woodford County name what kind of drove you there, or was it just by chance, or how did it go?
It was kind of just by chance, but it definitely. I had a lot of friends,
Mm-hmm.
or people that I had known that were wrestling there. Some people that I really looked up to, because I wrestled with Bluegrass Stallions
Okay.
back when I was in elementary, and so there were a couple guys there like Joey Roberts that I really looked up to and wanted to go wrestle with. But I had been at Scott County in middle school because I'm from Georgetown area. But then my mom moved for a job at Woodford County, so in middle school I moved over there and kind of lucked out with with where I ended up because yeah, I mean we all know the history there.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of Joey Roberts, before we go any further in the video, I have a list here of the Woodford County state champions that I have their state finals video and I still need to meet with. So, Woodford Countyans, Yellow Jackets, pay attention here. 1982, Terry Thornton. 1991, Robert Kemper. 1992, Sean Meckley. 1995, Josh Spencer. 1996, Chris Valentine. 2000, Ryan Lugers. 2003, Kyle Van Zant. Richard Starks, 04, 05, and 06. Will Starks, your 2006 video. Shane Parks, 2008. Joey Roberts, 2017. Max Androni, 2017. And Lauren Walton, 2024. If you know how to contact any of those guys or girls, please reach out to them. Tell them we have bounty posters out. We got their photos hanging up in post offices. Contact your local consulate or embassy if you've seen any of these wanted individuals, because we just wanted to be able to let the world know what was going on with the Woodford County Wrestling Program. You know what I mean? Lot of great names that's come through there. So you actually are one of the very few people that won a high school state championship as a middle schooler. And the list goes Joe Carr Jr. in 1993 was the first ever eighth grader, first ever middle schooler to win. Then we have a pretty big jump to another Woodford Countyan, David Carr, as an eighth grader. I wonder how his wrestling career turned out. You know what I mean? Uh, don't know. David Carr went on to be a two-time NCAA national champion at Iowa State. Moved back to Ohio. Was a four-time Ohio State champion. Very good possibility of making the 2028 Olympics. Of course, you in 2016, the Rainey brothers in 21 and 22. Lila Smith from Boyle County won it as an eighth grader. The first year the KHSAA had the girls state championship. So, man, just some of the names, the David Carr, the Rainey brothers, JoJo,
Yeah.
those the middle school state champions are few and far between, but man, whenever they come through, you know, you better be watching out for this person. You know what I mean?
It's good company.
Absolutely good company. So let's talk about that 2016 year. You're an eighth grader, like we said, 106 pounds of nothing but absolute muscle. You start off the state tournament with a 5-3 decision over Brennan Pye from Covington Scott. Now, of course, you don't know, for those that don't know, I should say, Brennan would go on to be a 2019 113-pound state champion. So, starting off, man, when you wrestled Brennan, could you kind of tell, hey, he kind of had it going on?
So I'd wrestled. I'm trying to think back. I wrestled Brendan earlier in the year. I know that, and I think I had a bit of an easier time with them. I mean, obviously, as you said, he's a great wrestler. But when I came out, it's your nerves. As I went on in my career, I kind of lost my nerves a lot. But that first time walking out on the All Tech, well, that's back when they had it at All Tech. So the first time walking out on that All Tech stage, you got the dirt in your lungs from the floor, and you see the whole crowd and everybody, and it's like first round, and there's a lot of mental stuff going on, and I get out there, and I had a pretty tough cut too, if I remember. I cut a lot of weight in high school, and so I had a pretty tough cut. And I didn't really know yet how to deal with the 2-day weigh-ins. So I hadn't eaten much, and I went out there, and he gave me a run for my money. And yeah, I remember thinking in the match, I was like, I was telling myself I was gonna win this thing, and now I might lose first round. So some of those mind games, but you just have to center and think about the guy in front of you and how to deal with that situation. So I remember not being pleased with the outcome, but not how I got there. And I remember it gave me some nerves going into my second match, because I was like, I'm not performing at the level I want to be or I should be to win this thing. But you gotta take it one match at a time and just put it behind you. So yeah.
That atmosphere. Of course, we've been at the horse park now for the past couple of years, but that horse park environment, the way that if you've never been, the way the seating goes all the way around, it's not like a usual gym. It's a true arena. You got the entire state there, and it can be a little intimidating, can it?
Oh, the finals, yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
finals it can be. Yeah.
Yep. The second round, man, you win a 8-2 decision over Caleb Satt from Ohio County. You move on to the quarters, and I was wanting to talk to you about this one. You wrestle Adam Bender from Lexington Catholic. You win a 2-1 decision. So kind of walk us through that one, man.
Yeah, so again, I felt like this whole tournament I was scraping by the skin of my teeth. But Adam, I mean, I'm sure you've talked to him. He's a great guy. I wrestled with him as a kid at Bluegrass Stallions, and then he was at LCA?
Lexington Catholic.
Yeah. So he was at Lexington Catholic, and I remember I wrestled him WCI, and I had a much easier time wrestling him there than at state. Um, I remember being a little worried because, you try not to, but you like kind of compare. And I knew that he had wrestled Kagan, and Kagan had kind of, roughed him up a little bit. And I was like, man, if I only beat Adam by 1 point, Kagan's gonna really, tear me up. So I just kind of didn't think about it after the match, but obviously Adam ended up joining Woodford, and we're teammates, and he's a good guy. So yeah,
Well, I was going to say Adam would go on that year in 2016 to get fourth place, but I've actually got in my notes that Adam would go on to become a teammate there at Woodford County and join the Blonde Hair Mafia. And for those that don't know, Adam does not have, he only has one leg, and went on. I believe he placed all 4 years in high school. I got to officiate him a few times. Excellent, excellent example of if you want to do something, you can do it. I mean, just we have been talking to trying to get up with Adam just to do a couple videos with him. Maybe somebody out there was thinking about wrestling and maybe doesn't have an arm or doesn't have a leg or whatever the case is. Doesn't mean you can't do it. I mean,
yeah,
Adam Bender is a perfect example of if you want to do it, you can get on top of that. You can get on the podium as many times as you want. I mean, he was a phenomenal wrestler.
yeah, he's really fantastic, and the he had a whole different technique that he had kind of
Mhm.
made to suit him, and it could really trick people up. Like they couldn't get
Yep.
their shots off on him, and so yeah, really phenomenal wrestler.
Absolutely, man. Now that ends day one. The drive from Woodford County to the All Tech Arena isn't very far. I mean, I don't know the exact mileage to your house, but it's not very. People commute that every day. Do
Yeah.
you go back home? Do you guys stay in a hotel there in Lexington? How does it go?
No, we never stayed in a hotel. We'd always go back. I remember we're a little luckier than our Union County
Yeah.
competitors.
Yep.
But yeah, I go home. Sometimes we cut a little bit of weight right after that first day and just kind of, adjust and talk to one another about, oh, how did the day go for you? Some guys don't want to talk about it. And
Yep.
some of them, I was always more quiet when it came to the big competitions. So I think if I remember back, I was just like locked in, like little eighth grade Chase, just, super serious,
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
probably just working out to get a couple pounds off. But yeah,
And a lot of guys that we've done videos with from the dungeon when it was in Frankfurt, they would leave. They as soon as they win their semifinals match, they'd leave. They'd leave the dungeon and go back to their whether it's like Lexington area, Woodford County area, any place like that. They just go back home and go back to their or hotel room and have whoever mom or dad, family members, whoever make like a pasta or something for them, take a little shower or whatever. So there's a
yeah.
lot to be said for being able to go back to your own house and not have to pack and you know what I mean?
Yeah, we it was nice to have kind of home turf in that way. I hated traveling
Oh,
for
I get it, man.
tournaments.
But
So yeah,
the second day, you start off or you wrestle the semifinals, I should say, against Nate Wheeler of St. Xavier. Again, you went then another squeaker, man, 3-2. Nate would come in third place that year, but he would go on in 2019 and be 145-pound state champion. So another squeaker, man.
yeah. So me and Nate had some history. I think after that we never wrestled again. But maybe we did. I'm kind of forgetting, but in middle school we had a lot of back and forths and a lot of battles. It's kind of like Insco in that way for me, where
Yeah.
we had a lot of history and phenomenal wrestler. He always gave me a real hard time with his. I think he liked the Russian tie, but his 2-on-1s were always a pain to deal with because I was more erratic in the hand fight, and so yeah, he gave me a lot of trouble. And he's a really great wrestler. I just barely snuck by again, like you said.
Hey man,
I
but
don't remember
so
how
I
the
mean,
match went out, but yeah,
you've had 4 matches so far, and you've pulled out a 5-3 decision, a 2-1 decision, and a 3-2 decision. So
yeah. It's
that
not
I
usually
mean
how my
that's a lot to be said for that, man. Being able to pull out 4 or 3 of the 4 matches like that on that stage with,
yeah.
as an eighth grader, man, that's just a lot of experience and being out there having a lot of mat time and knowing what you're good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I remember that year was a meat grinder and
Mm.
not usually how my I mean the rest of my career, my state tournaments went very differently than that one. And yeah, it was. I remember when the brackets would come out at Woodford County, Rusty would always go and put the brackets up on the wrestling wall the day they came out because we'd have practice and then we'd look at them, see like whatever, and he would always tell us like it doesn't matter. I'm just so you can start visualizing your matches or whatever. Um, and then mine came out and they posted it and it was kind of a gauntlet to get to finals. You have Brendan Pye obviously, and I had Adam who had wrestled earlier, and then Nate who I obviously knew, and then I was thinking it'd probably be Kagan in the finals. And I remember telling myself, I was like, I have the easiest route, I have the easiest route because I just like I had to, those mind games. But deep down, I knew that it was a tough, it would be a tough go all the way to the finals. So yeah.
Buddy, like of your two of your 4 matches ended up, like we said, had to beat eventual state champions. But you get to the finals, man. You're wrestling Kagan Wallace from Wayne County. Now we're not going to tell you the match score right away. You're coming into the finals with a record of 47-2. He's coming in undefeated, 55-0. Now I have to ask, had you wrestled Kagan before?
I hadn't even seen him before. So seeing him in the semis.
Yeah.
He came up and said something to me right before the semis. He was like, "I want to see you in the finals," and that was the first time I saw him. So I got a lot of love for Kagan. He's a great guy. But yeah,
Um, there was another great Wayne County, Woodford County finals. It's on the review series. It was Michael Jackson in 2000.
oh
He
yeah,
wrestled Will Farrington, and back then we had districts, regions, and then state. And Wayne and Woodford was in the same region, so they met in the regional finals in 2000. Met in the state finals in 2000 as well. Of course, the memorial video for Michael Jackson, but
mm,
the the Wayne County way of, and I've said it in a lot of the videos, Wayne County has a very unique style. They're underhooks, looking for throws, looking for big
yeah.
trips. Uh, the double arm bar, double chicken wing series, whatever you want to call it. And if you haven't seen somebody before, let alone wrestle them, I mean, against a style that not everybody wrestles. You know what I mean? It's a very, 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 very unique. Uh, Danny Upchurch has a set style that's worked for him. He's coached it for a long time, and those dudes down there, they're like little machines. You know what I mean? They
Yeah, they
start
like their
pummeling in
throws.
soon as the whistle blows. They try for throws, trick, all that kind of stuff. Real good upper body
Yeah.
wrestling. So, do you kind of does Rusty or anybody in the Woodford County contingent kind of say, "Hey, this is we know what's coming," or just go out and do what you do? What was the pregame coaching like for you?
So it was a little different because obviously Wayne County has a kind of distinctive style, but uh Kagan was from Texas, I think, and that was like his first year since he moved up. So I didn't know if he was going to have kind of that style because I knew he was a great wrestler in Texas. So I thought that maybe he's bringing his style to Wayne County, maybe, it's something different. So I didn't necessarily train that much I had a lot to worry about to get there. So I didn't necessarily train, but I remember one of the few things I remember from the match. I trained with the Cars a lot, and Coach Carr Sr. He was going through the week before state. He was going through how to defend not a lat drop. I'm forgetting I'm forgetting what the move's called. It's been a minute, but he was showing me how to defend this one throw, and I remember when it was happening in the match, Kagan tried to pull it on me, and I was like, if I mess this up and I get thrown to my back, I was like, senior's gonna kill me. So I distinctly remember that came in handy going through, the few hours that, we would just run through. And, obviously the Cars, phenomenal people and technicians. And so I definitely attribute a lot of my technique and kind of style to them and my other coaches at Woodford. But yeah, I do remember he liked to throw. I learned that real quick in the match. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, I get it. And I got to officiate the regional tournament the week before where I think it was the old Region 7, the Lexington area, Wayne, Whitley County. And I got to
Yeah.
officiate Kagan a few times. And I was like, man, alive, this dude is, whoa, you know, uh, this guy's pretty good. And
Yeah.
then, of course, I don't think I got to see Woodford County any that year. But before we get to the video, I messaged Kagan, talked to you, talked to Harrison. Of course, Harrison Courtney has the Woodford Wrestling Archive YouTube channel. And 2016 was one of the years that, for some reason, didn't get filmed. There's highlights of it, and unfortunately, I won't say unfortunately, but we don't have the complete match video. We have the highlight video, we have the individual medal ceremony, and we have the team trophy presentation. Of course, you guys come in state runner-up this year. But if somebody out there watching has the full 2016 state finals, whether you on your phone, a personal camcorder, whatever it is, you have this match video, please reach out to myself or to Chase, because we'd love to have it, and we may go back and add it into this video. We just want to have it. We just want to let the world know what kind of wrestling we got. But like I said, we do have about a minute or so, minute and a half highlight clip. We're not going to tell you the match result. I believe we can talk through it. So let's get it pulled up here, man. So this is the highlight video that we got from the KHSAA. It kind of picks up in the middle of the action. But Chase, man, feel free to say what you're thinking or say what you remember, and we'll talk about it much as we can. Here we go.
In the 106-pound division, Woodford County's Chase Yost defeated Wayne County's Kagan Wallace 4-2 in overtime to take home the state title.
You are on top, man.
Oh yeah, that was my home on top, running the. Now I think this was before they had you couldn't get back points out of bounds.
Okay.
And so I remember, I think I turned him out of bounds once or twice. I was trying to pull him back in. I couldn't get him back in. I had maybe, but I always had trouble getting back points.
And there it is, man. That was the winning takedown.
Yeah.
There's Rusty. Who's that with Rusty?
Ethan Miller.
Okay.
Yeah, just a lot of emotions.
Patrick McNutt out there is your official.
Oh yeah. I remember I was so tired. My arms felt like like noodles.
Here's the medal ceremony.
A lot of familiar faces here.
Oh, yeah. Thomas
Tom,
Carter,
yeah.
he went on to be a state champion.
Yeah, he wrestled with one of my teammates at Cumberland's, Dylan Preston.
Yeah, Dylan, absolutely. There's Adam. Adam, man, if you watch this, reach out to me, man. I'd love to be able to tell your story. There's Nate Wheeler.
Yeah, this was a tough bracket, that's for sure. Kagan. I remember Kagan was so strong. I think when he first took me down, because I came right out and he took me down like real early in the match, and I hit my head. I was seeing lights.
Okay. Ooh. There you are, man, getting a little love push from Rusty.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do it right after the finals, so I'm exhausted here.
Yep.
Woodford County finished as the 2016 state runner-up with 140.5.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So here, all the teammates. See Tristan Brooks, Fallon, Max, Cody, Tylen, Andrew Varble. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good group here. I was always, we were always so close to getting the team title as I got older was really what I was kind of searching for. Because we hadn't, as you said, hadn't got one since 2006, and now Union County's caught up. At the time, we had the record, and they caught up to us finally. They have a great program down there, but yeah, it was a good group.
And I don't know if you saw it or not, but I guess some of the Woodford County, I don't know if you call them mat maids or just whoever they were, the girls there, they had a sign that said, "He's an 8th grader." And I was like, man, what a sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they always came up with some funny signs, and my sister would like paint her face, and my brother would paint. They'd like put my singlet on or they paint it on. Yeah, so it was always funny. They Woodford County. I don't know how we're perceived from other from other teams, but we're definitely we get excited about wrestling. So yeah.
Hey man, and that's the way it should be. I mean, that's the way with the tradition and the individual and team state championships. And I don't want to say every family in Woodford County has a connection because people move in, move out so quick, but people that's been in the county for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, somebody's got a connection. Big brother wrestled, cousin wrestled, they grew up beside somebody on the team, something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I think Woodford County has a new high school now, brand new building, and all got their team state championships up, their individual state champions there in the wrestling room. So, and you guys will see a photo. There's that road sign out in front of the school, home of the Yellow Jackets, 13-time all state champion, team state champions. It's just that's the way it should be. If the kids, and that's what high school age people are, they're kids. They might be 18, but until you graduate, everybody's going to see you as a kid. It's just the way it is. But if your kids, your high school age, or even middle school, elementary school age, whatever, they're able to go out and win a state championship, compete at the national level, like some of the Woodford County, or now I guess across Kentucky can do, the community should be proud of that. Hey, we can do it here in Wood. We don't just race horses. We just don't have Woodford Reserve. We don't just have all these other things. We can wrestle too. We should be proud of what our residents, our young residents, can bring back to our county. But the 2016 year, though, man, let's talk about some of those state champions. Of course, you at 106, Tanner Yenner from Campbell County at 113. Dallas Oshenbein from North Oldham at 120 was most outstanding. 126, rest in peace to Bryce Schaefer. We're going to be doing Bryce's memorial videos. Of course, Bryce four-timer. 132, Keegan Duncan from Trinity. 138, A.J. Bender from Fern Creek. 145, Jackson Oxford from Woodford. 152, Benny Barton from Trinity. 160, Hudson Hydor from Trinity. 170, Casey Cornett from Simon Kenton. Rest in peace to Max Emerson from Oldham County at 182. 195, Grant Kruger from Ashland. 220, Garrett Chandler from Male. And then some poor little weak heavyweight named Landon Young. I wonder how his athletic career turned out. Of course, Landon's review video is on the channel. A couple of those guys are on the channel. Go back and watch it, guys, if you haven't done so already. So, man, as an 8th grader, you kind of plant your flag, let everybody know, hey, man, I ain't going no place, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, as a freshman, you kind of went up and weighed a little bit, 120 pounds. You come in 4th place, and the team comes in 4th place. And I believe that was the year that Joey and Max won. So you had, pretty good team as well that year. 2018, as a sophomore, man, you're in the finals. I was going to ask you about this. You went from 120 to 138. Was that just your body growing, or did you have to kind of bump up to give somebody a space? Or
I wanted to wrestle Saul. That was
fair enough. That's a good reason, for real.
That was my reason. I definitely wasn't a 38 pounder, but I cut a lot of weight the first 2 years, and so I was like, I won't worry about it. But I'm forgetting who. Was it Ryan Moore at 132?
I believe it was Ryan at 132 that year.
Yeah. And Ryan, obviously, phenomenal wrestler, but I was trying to pick in my head. I was like, who would I rather wrestle? Who do I think, the big challenge would be? And, I kind of wanted to push myself, see if I could, win that. I went with Saul, obviously, I didn't end up beating him, but I always kind of chased those challenges when I was younger.
And that's to be respected. I mean, it really is to be able to say, well, Vision Quest, that movie Vision Quest.
Yeah.
I want to wrestle shoot. You know what I mean? And that's to be commended, man, for bumping up. But like I said, man, as a sophomore, 2018, 138 pounds, Saul Irvin get you in the finals with a 9-3 decision. But again, man, much tip my hat for the wanting to wrestle him.
State Wrestling from Woodford County, Yost.
Now, 2019, 132 pounds as a junior, you come in 6th place. But as a senior, 138 pounds, 2020, you run into Jake Insco from Union County. And again, man, just a little. I got to officiate the 2020 state finals, and I think this may have been the last match of the state finals. It was either the last or second to last.
It was later, yeah, because they did the random. Yeah.
And of course, had you wrestled Jake earlier in the year?
Yeah, I'd wrestled Jake a ton. I can't I can't remember all the times. We'd always go back and forth. He just had a style that I think I struggle with. And we'd wrestled each other so many times that like we knew what one another was trying to do. I don't know. I felt really strange going to that finals, and then I just didn't like feel like I had like that like sort of like fire. You know, by the time I was a senior, I didn't get like the butterflies or anything. I was just very calm and cool, and sometimes that doesn't there's a flip side to that coin. You need to find a balance. So, but yeah, definitely um, got close a lot more times. I remember my teammates would give me crap, and they'd say, "Oh, you peaked in eighth grade," as a little tongue in cheek to me. When they were mad at the team captain. So, but yeah, it's definitely. I don't really have any sort of regrets. I think I lost all really great wrestlers, and at the end of the day, it's a game, and but it is a game that helps you learn about yourself and grow as a person. So I'm glad for all the experiences that I've had through it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Being in the finals 3 times, uh, adding to that Woodford County individual state championship total, and being one of the very select few middle school state champions that's come along. So, man, just a phenomenal career there at Woodford County. Now, after your time in I guess, the black and yellow, you move on to the collegiate ranks, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I was recruited by Spencer Adams to go to Bellarmine. I was the first D1 recruiting class there, and as you know, the only Division I program in Kentucky. So that was pretty appealing to me, and I wanted to wrestle at that highest level. And yeah, I wrestled 2 years there and had injuries uh, starting, I think, my junior year of high school in my shoulder.
Mhm.
And that coupled with, I just was a little tired and, wanted to focus on my career. We all make decisions and change course and so. But yeah, 2 years there, it was a good time. A lot of good teammates. Um, you know,
Absolutely, man. And I believe you have a neat little piece of trivia you're going to hit us with. So go ahead and tell us your Bellarmine piece of trivia that you hold.
yeah, I was the first home win at Knights Hall for Bellarmine as a D1 program against Presbyterian, I believe, which was a little scary because I was a 41 pounder, and we weren't doing too hot in that duel until we got that win against Presbyterian. We ended up, coming home, and my team pulled together, and we were able to get the first home win as a duel against Presbyterian there. So it was an
So the
exciting
first
time. Yeah.
individual home win and the first team win there at home, you were a part of both of them. So man, that's kind of cool. We got several Bellarmine wrestlers. We got Coach Ned Shuck on, that follow us. We're in contact with him and Spencer as well.
Oh yeah.
Spencer moved on to Taylor County and doing great things down there with their girls and boys team. So I'm sure they'll probably, comment or, I remember that, probably give us a score or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
um, before we wrap this one up and put a bow on it, is there anything that we haven't talked about or brought up that you'd like to let the world know about, man? The floor is yours.
Nothing in particular. I guess, support wrestling in Kentucky. It's great to have a lot of sports get a lot of love, but the kids, I think it's good to have the opportunity to be involved in this sport that, we all have a lot of history with and have learned a ton from.
Mhm.
Support Woodford Wrestling. But yeah, as a whole, I think it's a great outlet. But yeah,
And that's what I love about this series is it's kind of like the front porch for Kentucky wrestling. It's a good invite in. It's a good, hey, check out what we have. Check out what has been in this state for a long time. It's just been hidden. We want to welcome it, no matter what sport it is, what state, when you competed, if you're thinking about it, whatever. This series, from the earliest that we have on the channel, state champion wise, we didn't have the video, but he's on the channel, is a two-time state champion, 1965 and 1966 state champion named Dean Williams Sr. And we have all the way up through some of our young ladies that are state champions this past year, some of our guys that are state champions, everywhere in between, from the Mississippi River to the hills of Pike County to the Tip Top and Covington, all the way down to Wayne County, everywhere in between. We have representation on the channel. And then once people get in to the series and they kind of start reconnecting with people, they start, oh yeah, I remember that guy, let's add him on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Then it kind of turns into the back porch. People want to just sit around and talk about the sport. Oh, remember that, remember this, remember that. Oh yeah, I can't remember. Let's watch this guy's video. Remember when we done this? And that is what has the state and this sport, the community's been missing for so long. It's just a platform, representation. This is what we have to offer. There's been great wrestling in Kentucky for a very long time. It's just been hid for far too long. And with this series, you get to hear stories from people like Chase Yost. That's why we do it, to let the world know, hey, there's not too many things in the world people can say, why can't we be more like Kentucky? Why can't we be more like wrestling? And with this, man, we can combine both of them and be the model, be the platform, be the blueprint that everybody else needs to follow as far as getting their sport and their state champions, their stories out there. So, man, thank you for doing this. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.